How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Final Fantasy BFX video, and we're going to be talking about Xezat and Bartz Neovision Awakening and Gilgamesh Neovision Awakening, and on top of that, Ferris Neovision. So let's get into the 5 to 7 star first. He's a magic cover tank, pretty good, right? Already, you're already pretty tempted if you don't have Finzi, for example, if you didn't pull for snow. Perfect Dispel, which means he gets rid of the buffs, but not the debuffs on the boss. Very good. AoE 75% general mitigation, and also lightning and also ice resistance on a cooldown. Very good. And Trust, which is going to be very popular and very useful in the near future, guys. Make sure you guys have a lot of Entrust units for that. And on his little burst, 4k HP barrier, and also 75% physical, magical, beast, and plant mitigation. Also has 16 hits, but you're not really going to worry about that too much. And for his cons, he doesn't have very good passives, very light passives. But that's alright. It's a 5 to 7 star after all. Sorry about the sniffling. My nose has been running a little bit for some reason. And also the problem with this guy, as much as he's a 5 to 7 star tank that you might like to have, we all know at this point that Beatrice will come and she's going to be far better, and she's free, and she can get Neovision Awakening in the event. So we all know that she's coming out, so I wouldn't really invest too much in this guy. I was just going to give him a 6 out of 10. Not too bad, but I mean, you can probably wait for Beatrice. She's not too far off at this point. Neovision Awakened Bartz. I know a lot of people are looking forward to him because a lot of people have him, including myself. I've got a whole bunch of them. I regret that I did get 2 of his S team on the global side. That was a big oof. Well, that was before we didn't even know that Neovision Awakenings were coming in kind of a thing, so oh well. Oh well. Anyways, infinite turns. He has an imbue-like ability, just like Rain on his Neovision form, where he can imbue himself and someone else. That's good. And also, he has mod boost to a lot of his old abilities. Not that big of a deal, but it's okay if you really need a damage dealer. Limit Burst upgraded. He can become a Limit Burst finisher, but I mean, I never really thought of him that way. He does have a 150% Limit Burst passive, but again, you're not really going to be using him for that, and we'll be talking about that very shortly. 100% Beast and Plant Killer, 45% Wind boost to magical and physical for all allies. This is where we're talking about. This is the good stuff here, guys. And you can give Wind AR chaining to all allies, which is very good. Brave Shift Limit Burst provides 280% attack and magic, 100% Limit Burst damage, and Wind imbue for all allies, which is pretty good. And he does have, I believe he does have a complete Wind AoE imbue, but I might be mistaken on that. I think it's just the boost that he has. But he's more of like a Wind support than a DPS at this point in the game, guys. His DPS, you can probably still use it just fine if you really want him to do that, but I just think that he's better suited as like a Dark Vision, because you can give him AR, you can give AR chaining to everybody, and Wind boost. 45% is very high. And that you can imbue and do all those kind of things. So I really don't think he's much more of a. I don't think he's a main DPS anymore. I think he's just too slow for that. You can use him if you want. Not knocking him for that. I'm just saying that he's better suited as a support DPS at this point in the game. And since we don't have Pwn, Wind imbuing is a lot more essential than if Pwn was here. Then it'd be good, but not amazingly great like he is right now. So I'm gonna be giving him an 8.5 out of 10. If you use him as the way that I'm describing you. So he enables wind-based teams. He can turn any DPS into a wind-based team. So if you're going to be using him as a regular DPS, I think his score is going to be a little lower. Don't do that. Just use him as a friendly or good old friendly imbuer, Bartz. So there we go with that. And moving on, Gilgamesh, which I've already talked about in my role compression tier list, but I will go over him again. Infinite turns, which is always an amazing thing, because you'll want to just stay in his Brave Shift form. We'll be talking about that. Permanent triple cast, 40 times mod boost to old abilities, but you're not really worrying about that too much. I mean, 80 times, it's pretty good, but you'll see that doesn't matter at all when we get into the next part here. 6 times cav, or 600%, 150% true to wield, which is good. Limit burst can give a permanent 300%. All those stats there, attack, magic, defense, spirit, and 150% limit burst damage for himself. I've never done it because, again, we'll be talking about why. His Brave Shift side has a lot of break dodge moves: mace, axe, spear, sword, and katana. Stardust Ray, bolting strike, AR, graviton cannon. Graviton cannon is not as... At this point in the game, they were trying to push a lot of graviton cannon frames, and it kind of failed because I don't think a lot of units after this has gotten them. So graviton cannon frames is probably not as likely to be used, but bolting strike for sure. I think you guys are probably drooling over those already. He has 2 of the most popular chaining families in the entire game. What more do you need? He can fit on any team. He can fit on any team. And also killers and equipment based on unwanted resistance based on equipment used, but that's not a big deal. Your main focus is going to be those break dodge attacks. For new players that don't really understand what that means, if you equip 2 of the same weapon and you use the mace break dodge or the axe or the spear or any of those other ones, and you use it with 2 weapons equipped, it's double effectiveness. So you want to go ahead, and if you're going to use the katana one, you want to equip 2 katanas. It's just you have to do it that way. It's better. You're being less effective if you equip a sword and a katana and you only do the break dodge and the katana one. You're doing less effective on that. And he does have, which I guess I forgot to mention, he does have competent breaks. Sorry about that. I guess I didn't forget. I forgot to put that in. He does have competent breaks. He does have a full imperil. He has light chaining, I think, and stuff like that. He has light imperil, 120%. He also has full breaks. So if you're paying attention, don't mention in the comment section I forgot the breaks, because I'm saying them right now. So he definitely has 85%. I'm pretty sure I remember that part. He has 2 breaks, but I think one is, I don't know. They're both. He has 2 breaks in his Brave Shift form. That's why you just, like I mentioned, guys, his base form is just whatever. It's not that big of a deal. But his Brave Shift form, he turns into like this beast. He puts a crown on and he becomes a beast. Not literally put a crown on, but like I'm just saying, he's a king of roll compression pretty much. In the sense, if you guys want a taste of him, what you can do, check out my Scorn of Ymir trial, where I used 2 Noctis, I used 2 of this guy. And this is probably one of the first times I'm ever going to tell you, because usually I'll say, hey, you should probably focus on 1 Neovision of the unit and not 2. I think this time, if you have got a lot of him, I think you should make 2 Neovision Awakening EX plus 1s at least. So if you guys were wondering and about that kind of thing, then you should make 2 Neovision Awakening EX1, or even EX, if you have that many Gs. You could make 2 Neovision EX2s. That's what I would focus on, guys. I know a lot of people are going to ask me that, so that's my advice to you guys. And you can get them for free in the event. Make sure you guys get the spear. I missed out on the spear on the JP side. I will not make that mistake again. Make sure you guys get a spear. It's good. So I'm going to be giving him a 9.5 out of 10. That's an extremely high score. That's like near mint condition. If his base form was just as good as the Brave Shift form, he would get a 10 out of 10. But unfortunately, his base form kind of gets a minus 0.5 on that one. But not a lot of units on my reviews ever get 9.5 out of 10. Yeah. So 9.5 out of 10 for that. And Ferris, finally, a lot of people are going to be talking about her. I know a lot of people are going to be pulling for her. That's fine. So let's get into why people might want to pull for her. Infinite turns, Leviathan, Golem, and Rama summons zone effects. If you want to know more about zone effects, I've got a whole video talking about all the zone effects in the game. Wind Terra basically like affect her finisher and is her base form instead of her limit burst, or her base form is her finisher instead of where Terra was her in her Brave Shift form. Her Brave Shift limit burst is nearly identical to Vaughn's limit burst, where it has the imperil, it has the breaks. 6 times cap, 600% cap, and also 150% attack and magic. True to wield magic is then base, and also physical and Brave Shift form. So she's a physical damage dealer in her Brave Shift form, magic evoker type unit in her normal form. 180% evoke damage, 60% evo magic, and 150% aquatic killers, which doesn't matter too much in her normal form. 50% fire boost for herself in her rageshift form, which is really good. BS is a breaker slash finisher, but she can chain AoE, which is good as well. So there's some flaws, which I have tested myself. I've used her quite a bit at this point on the JB site, and I know that she has some flaws. First of all, her base limit burst is lower than Terra. That's to accommodate that she can stay in her normal form to keep using her limit burst, but she can burst more often, like I mentioned. Terra's limit burst, and yeah, we already covered that. Braveshift's limit burst, yada yada. And she does not have as much Evo stats as Terra, I think. I'm pretty sure I did the math back then on the JB side. I think Terra's was much higher, but you guys can check that for myself. Check that out for yourself, I mean. And also, she doesn't have the grandest ability that allows her to instantly fill her limit burst gauge and get limit burst damage, so she needs some help with that. She has an LB fill ability, but it's not as good. It doesn't fill instantly. You have to constantly use it. Because guess what, guys? The limit burst costs 100 crystals. I'm not making this up. 100 crystals. It's very awkward in Dark Visions if you don't have someone who can do Entrust right away. I was struggling to kind of get her to work without it. Without an Entruster, she's really slow as a finisher, and compared to Terra, where she just shifts over, uses her grandest ability, she's ready to go on the next turn. Terra, she's a little harder to use, so yeah, she needs help. She has no imbues in her base form, but she has a Ace type magic asterisk chaos wave move. Well, it's not very good. It's kind of weird. Anyways, she needs someone to global to entrust, and she got like a global buff, I think. I'm gonna say there's a question mark here just in case, but sometimes the wiki states different turn counts than what's actually presented in game. So I was told that she has a 1 turn to shift back instead of 2, but the wiki says 2 on the JB side. I wouldn't say this is a gold buff until we know exactly what happened in the game. So when that comes out and she only has 1 turn, then that's a gold buff. That's pretty good. I don't think it's gonna make her god tier or anything. It's just a nice little thing to have if you really want that. But it's not a big deal. Even if she didn't have it, it's not a big deal. So I'm gonna give her an 8.5 out of 10. I just think that she's a lot harder to use than Terra. She's wind. I know a lot of people are excited about wind damage dealers, and so am I. Wind is very, very underrepresented, and so is thunder or lightning. Lightning and until recently was a very underrepresented. And magic lightning attacks are very, very underrepresented, and so is wind. So 8.5 out of 10. She's not the worst thing of all time, but there's a certain water evoke unit in the future that will make her look like a chump. No offense to Ferris fans. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like on my reviews if you like them. Please leave a subscription if you're new around here. And please have that notification bell. And if you watch all the way through, make sure to type in #wind. #wind will be the keyword. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!